Hey everyone, we are back for another video, and today actually it's going to be a couple of parts. I'm going to talk about creating a title block family and also setting up a sample plan. So in this case it'll be a site plan, and we'll also be covering hatches. So let's get to it. So what is a title block? If you guys open up your sample project, a title block is this information along the side, and basically it's a border around the sheet. The title block should be placed in every sheet so that they know who created the drawing, which date, the project name, and the drawing title, and a room for a stamp. So let me kind of point out a few things that are common to all title blocks. They all come in different shapes and sizes, kind of. Every office has their own custom, and in your case, you guys will be making your own. But regardless, every title block comes with a company logo. It also has a room or an area for any kind of revision that gets done throughout the project. Then you have project name. That's also common throughout your whole sheet. And the name of your drawing. This is actually the name of your drawing and the stuff that's on this title, on this sheet, right? You should have a little room for a little stamp when you guys all become licensed, and then a page number. So now you've kind of been briefly described what a title block is. Let's get to creating one custom for yourself. So again, this is Revit out of the box. It comes with, we started the architectural template. So it actually comes with one title block, and that title block can be actually found here along families. These are all the families that's installed currently in your project. And under annotation, you'll see that. So it comes with one title block, and it's a 30-inch by 42 inches, basically an arc E size. And in our case, most of our drawings are going to be done in arc D size, which is 24 by 36. So we'll be kind of jacking this title block and then modifying it. So how do we do that? First, what you want to do is you want to go to View. Let me move this. And then set up a sheet. Okay. So what I'm telling Revit is that, hey, I want to create a blueprint, if you will, right? So I'm going to set up a sheet, and it's showing me, hey, this is the only title block you have on the, in our project at the moment, and it's going to create a new sheet. So I say, okay. So it gives me this sheet with the title block already loaded, and where that is I will show you in a second. So if you go into sheets, I have one sheet because this is a sheet that I just created, page A101, page A101. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically hack this sheet. This is a Revit family, and so there's a lot of intelligent information on here that we don't want to have to recreate from scratch. So we just want to modify this particular title block. So what you do is you select it, click on it once, and go up here to Edit Family. And it'll open up a brand new Revit file, and you are actually in the Revit family. And so this will be our first time editing a Revit family. And if you look here, it is the actual title block family. So before you make any changes to this, I need you to make a copy of this, because obviously I don't want you to change the original Revit E1 30 by 42 title block. So you're going to go to File, Save As, a family. So now you're going to create your first custom family, which will be a title block family. And please have a folder for yourself somewhere on your computer that you can save all your custom family. In my case, I do have a folder, but for class, I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the desktop, and I'm going to rename this thing Arc 162 underscore title block. So now I have my own file, right? It's ARC162 title block, so I can do whatever I want to this and I don't change the original. The first thing I want to do is I want to measure, and this tells me that this is 3'6". It's too long. It should be 3 feet. And then, so I'm just going to pull these in for a second. Click on this line, click on that, and type 3 feet. Because it's really, it should be 24 inches tall. It should be 24 this way and 3 feet wide. I'm going to move, well, I actually don't need the logo. And I'm going to move a lot of these things lower. Let me see, I actually don't need any of this. I don't need that. And these are just simple lines. These are not, you know, intelligent objects, so don't worry about deleting these things. So I'm going to select all of that, and it doesn't give me dimension. So here, we type 2 feet. So that's my new border. Let me delete these so that I don't confuse myself. And then these lines I can just pull down. So it's really your choice how much of a margin you want, but in general, like a 3/8 of an inch is more than enough here. So I'm going to come in here and oops. Okay, and this border here, because that's where they're going to staple, I like to give it a little bit more room. So let's give it 3/4 here. Actually, let's give it 1/2 inch. That looks small. Oh, sorry. 3. I meant 3. Well, actually, 3/4 was fine. Brain's working a little bit slower today. 3/8. The heck? You know what, I'm not digging that. I think that one should be bigger. Let's give it 1 inch. Yeah, it feels a little better. Okay, we'll move this across. And sometimes Revit gives you these dimensions and you can kind of use that. Actually, I like 1/2 inch there. Maybe I should use 1/2 inch all around. So I'm gonna lock these guys together. If I do that, yeah, let's use 1/2 inch here. And 1/2 inch here. Cool. Okay, so this is a revision table, and it's an intelligent object. So we just want to leverage this and not create, you know, these lines all together. You notice that it shows up as a schedule and it's a revision schedule, but it's a little bit too wide, so we're going to adjust that. But let's first do our edges, and I'm just gonna freehand it at this point, but you guys can be a little bit more accurate if you like. So I'm gonna leave a little place for myself for my logo, and this title block, this is probably a very important thing because this is where all your information is gonna go. I forgot what I have in my studio, but it's certainly not 6 inches wide. Let's give it 3 inches. Yep. And then maybe I don't even need these things because I'm just going to put my square logo up right in here. And then this guy, I like my revision table right on at the very top so the guys can see that pretty quickly. And I'm just going to adjust the size of this table. Hopefully it'll fit. Oh, I guess it wants it from the front. So the number spot could be really fairly thin because it's just going to be revision number 1, revision number 2, etc., etc. And we also keep the description fairly short, you know, like plan check revision 1 or whatever that is. But I don't want to reduce the date too much because it's going to be like 5 digits or whatever. So I think that's going to be fine. And I do not need that many. If your project goes through that many revisions, you have some problems. So I'm gonna, typically in our office it goes through like 4, no more than 4. So let's just leave plenty of room for that. And then you want a little box for a project name, you know, maybe the client's information. So let's just make a little box right here. And we're going to put client name there. And we're going to put the project name. And then you want another box here. And what's really cool about Revit, you see how it just kind of snaps to the nearest thing that it could be associated with. So we're going to have a sheet name there. And the reason why I'm not just erasing this and typing out sheet name is that these things are not static text. It's actually a label, and it's looking for a sheet name, and then whatever name I give it, that's what it's going to be here automatically. You don't have to type it. So these labels are intelligent objects. I just want you to be aware of that. Project number, we're going to need that. Date, you're going to need that. Drawn by, you're going to need that. So let me see. So I think that's associated with the project number, and that's associated with the date. Okay, let me see. So we're gonna put the, I think the sheet name, we're gonna need more room. So let's do this. And we're gonna put project number, and this will be the number. Something to be aware of. So when I click on this, it says it's an 1/8 inch text, right? So that tells me that's a static thing. I can make that whatever I want, you know, and it'll be that, right? I'm gonna undo it. So that's just really what I call dumb text, and I say dumb in a way where it's just more symbolic. It's not truly dumb, obviously. This is a label, not a text. So whichever, in my project information, if I give it a project number, anything that has this label on any sheet will all be automatically changed to the project number that I input once, right? So that's why it's really important that you understand this is a label, and if you click on that, that's a text. All right, so then date, that's just a text. So I'm gonna say I want, oops. Line up my date there, and this date is a label, so it's looking for dates. So again, I'm just gonna place it there. Drawn by, and then I'm gonna leave a little room for initials, and I guess that's also an intelligent label for drawn by. And that's just so that, you know, in Office there's multiple people working on a project, and we want to know who was responsible for drawing this particular sheet. And then usually there's a project manager who checks the drawing, and they usually put in their initial on there. So we'll just put that. I do like to put a little, this is a dynamic label. Whenever you print, this this date actually changes. Let me come down here. And this will be the scale of the drawing. Very important. And then this is a sheet label. So that's a pretty big number. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to come in here. Here's the label. Oops, that wasn't it. Select this. Instead of changing the label, you want to edit the actual label. This is just the title of what this is. This is actually what it is. So if you go to edit, it tells me it's a sheet number, and I want the sample to be not 3 zeros, but only 2, because it's too long. So again, it's not really A01. That's just a sample. It is whatever sheet you name it. And then let's rotate these guys. And I'm going to want my box to fit within my border. That way it doesn't, it's obviously centered, so it'll just kind of get bigger. So there you have it. We have our first title block. We don't need these dimensions to show up, so I'm going to delete that. And of course, if you guys have your own logo, actually, you guys should have your own logo. I don't care whether it's just a photograph that you download from the internet, but this will be part of your assignment for you to do a title block, which is to create a logo, make it a JPEG, and then after that, you want to go to Insert, Import Image, grab it, and pop it in here, and then that'll be your company's logo. All right, so have fun with that. So we're just about done. So please save that. And again, I hope you guys are saving it to your folder. And then what you're going to do is you're going to load onto the project, because our project is open, right? So you're going to load. And it's going to say can't create it in this window, because this is a view, first floor view. You could only load a title block into a sheet. Hopefully that's obvious to you guys. So I'm going to go to this sheet. But the project is, the new title block is already loaded. So I'm going to come in here and click this title block. And if I come down here, now it'll give me ARC 162 title block. Ooh, I forgot to change the name. But there it is. All right, let's do it correctly. I'm going to go back to the original family. And let's come here to the family type. And we should give this a new name. So this title block you see here, which is 36 by 24, that's a family that we just created. And the name of this thing was E30 by 24. We don't want that. So we want to click this. ARC D, and then let's just go, I don't know, my first TV. Obviously you can name it whatever you want, right? So now I have that name. I'm going to go back and load, and I'm going to override everything. And then if I go to this sheet, this one should be called ARC 162. My first TV. You know, Revit does a really weird thing. Once you bring a family in and it remembers what it is, it never forgets it. So I'm going to change this one to that. And this is just really more management so that you don't have all kinds of crazy things. Here's ARC 162 title block. Here's the first one that I brought in that it will always remember. So you just go ahead and delete that. Oop, it won't let me delete it. Delete. Oh, all right, we'll delete it later. I'll figure that part out. But anyhow, this is your title block now. Okay, it's probably thinking that it's being used somewhere. So again, no big deal, but just keeping Revit files clean is probably a good thing. And then let's see. I'm going to go ahead and close this guy out. Save, yeah. Okay, so we have our first title block, and what do we do now? So we have all of these kind of random information here, and let's just kind of start filling them in. First of all, remember on the title block, this was like a page number, and it was A-01, but since we named this sheet A101, it changed automatically. So what you do is when you select this title block, here's a sheet number. You can name that whatever you wish. So I'm going to say A-1 for just sheet 1. And then when I click that, that changes automatically. And also you can see that there's a lot of things here that are the label, right? So right now, sheet name, I'm going to call this site plan. And then it's going to show up as site plan right here. And let's see, drawn by MS, and then now it'll be MS. Now the issue date is when the drawing goes out, you know, printed and out. So you definitely want to change that at the time you ship it out. Check by, I guess it'll be, I don't know, whoever DL is. All right, and then we don't have a tag for designer and all of that, so it's no big deal. But most of that is kind of filled in. You notice that the scale, there's nothing here because we don't have any drawings here on this sheet. So in the next demo, we will work on bringing a drawing into our sheet. You know, this video has gone quite a long time, so I am going to stop this. But in the meantime, please try to create your own title block and get it into your sheet. And then we will work on bringing drawings into this particular sheet. See you guys next time.